entrepreneurs, bakers, and weekend warriors, everybody else. Y'all ever feel like taking payments at markets is a challenge? Well, today I want to come to you with three of our secrets that can help you boost your sales, get a new customer base, and streamline the process of accepting payments all at once. Today, we're going to be using Square. All right, let's get this thing going. All right, so now before we get to those secrets though, let's talk about these basics. Some people don't even know what Square is. And Square is a payment processor. Of course, we all know that. But then it's like, why should we use Square over everything else that's out there? Well, perhaps you probably heard the nightmares about Square and was like, man, I'm not using Square. And let me tell you, it's all true. Everyone has their own experience with all these payment processors. So regardless of what you choose to use, you gotta have backup systems installed. How do we do that? Let's get set up. First things first, we're gonna download the Square app. You can do so from your Apple Store or your Play Store. It depends on you. Put it on your phone or your tablet. I have it on all my devices. That's phones and tablets. Next, we're gonna go ahead and create our Square account if you don't have one, so we can order our readers. We're gonna get the MK2 reader. That's your standard card tap and chip insert. That's the one that you can insert the card as well as tap and accept all tap forms of payment like Apple Pay, Google Pay, Samsung Pay, etc. Next, we're gonna take photos of all our products and then we're gonna insert them into the Square app and organize everything. And then
this is over into the mobile view. This is going to be from your iOS phones or your Android phone. So you can follow along after you set up your Square account, or if you're already ready to go and you just don't have any items in, follow along from this point on. We're going to create a couple items. First thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to long press one of the empty blocks that allows me to come into my options window. And from here, I can create my item. Now, when I get ready to create my item, we're going to come back to this, but I can start adding anything. For right now, let's just say if you did take a couple pictures or you already added your inventory, we can select one of those items and we can put it in that empty box. And for me, I don't want that item to be there. So I'm going to long press it again. And I'm just going to hit the X icon once it appears, and it's going to remove that item. However, for you, once you hit done, the item is now on the top of your favorites page. Now let's long press this and we tap favorites at the top of the screen. It's going to allow us to change this page name. And I'm going to show you this back on our tablets. We're going to hit done for now. As we move through this, we're going to long press the home page once again into one of the empty blocks. And this is going to allow us to come back into that edit window. What we want to do is get over to where we can create a new item. Once we create this new item, we're going to tap new item, the icon. We can choose a color or we can choose a photo that we need to take. And once you do that, it'll allow you to set the photo from the camera. Once we back out in the categories, now we can set bestsellers, new in, just in, fall favorites, holiday favorites, V-Day favorites, whatever you want this category to be. It's totally up to you. As we move down, we can see our price. Remember that inside your price, you have to account for all your materials and goods used, and don't so much count for your time as far as your hours if you're just starting off. That can get a little hectic, and it allows you to also manage your stock inside of this. We're going to leave out of here real quick, and we'll just talk about this sometime later. Let's just say if we wanted to create a discount. And this can be discounts that we're carrying over from our online store, or you can do in-person discounts. When you're in here, it's going to allow you to do a particular dollar amount off, a percentage amount off, or a variable amount or percentage off based on how much money they're spending or the percentage of the items that they put inside of the cart. Now let's go move over to the tablet real quick.
Alright, so since I use some of the restaurant features, I can swipe up here near no sale. From here, it can turn to delivery, pick up, and for here. Because if I was working multiple devices, I can see things and leave notes for other people. As well as that if I'm taking notes of anything in here, I can come down here, and if I hit save ticket, I can save this ticket for later under someone's name. And there it is. If I hit tickets again, I can bring that ticket back, and there go my sale. But we're going to delete this ticket. We're going to avoid it and just hit error entry. Another thing is the taxes, right? If I see my taxes here, and let's just say I want to take taxes off of sale, I can tap taxes, hit no sale, hit delete, done, and there we are. And just as you've seen on the screen, if I need to put those taxes back, I just hit reset taxes, and they're back. Now, you don't have to do this per every sale after you take it off. If you take it off and you complete a transaction, the tax will be applied automatically to every transaction moving forward from there. Although, you do have to toggle it off after every transaction. You activate your taxes in your back menu inside your service. Show me where this tax stuff at. Alright, so I'm already on my documents, right? Well, I'm on the main screen. I'm going to hit more. I'm going to go back to my settings, and I'm going to go to checkout, and then you see sales tax right here. Tap it. Yours will be empty. It's going to tell you to enter a sales tax, so enter your state sales tax. Mine here in Texas is $8.25. So I have that here, and I have it turned on automatically. So if I turn it off, it's going to be turned off at every sale. Then I'll have to turn it on every sale. So now that I have it turned on every sale, it's going to automatically add the tax every sale, and then I have to toggle it off. That's why I have to toggle mine off. And you can also select it for particular items you want to do, or particular customer amounts. That, like, say like you want to do like charge taxes after every $12 or something like that. Then it'll just do that. Now we're going to go into our hardware settings from here. It's just the same as the phone apps. We're going to hit more. Get back here into our settings, tap hardware, and then we're going to find our Square readers. I don't have that kiosk style setup, and when you're doing these farmer markets, there's really no purpose of you having that unless you plan on getting that and then you're going into a building later. However, I say save your money, get you a Square reader, and then just go from there. That way you're ready to take tap, or you can take the EMV chips on the cards. With the tablet, as you see, things are set up a little bit different. This is what I meant by our favorites menu. As you look at the top here, you tap those three menu dots. And so you can customize your favorites, and you can name your columns and create new pages. So this has allowed me to create a page for our originals, our Christmas flavors, Thanksgiving, D-Day, seasonal rotations, as well as our gluten-free range. So we're gonna hit done right now. So if I swipe right, we can flip through the pages and you can see all the different flavors. Or if you got candles, different particular sections like your best sellers, limited times, short stocks, or flash sales that you're trying to get rid of. And then if you're doing any baked goods and things like that, like we are, then you can have your seasonal flavors as well. You can also tap the windows. You don't necessarily have to swipe, and you can just flash through them. And of course, the library works the same again. We have all of our items in here. We can start creating menu and items from here, or we can go to keypad, put in any custom amount that we're going to charge our customer, hit charge, and it's set to go. Now, as you see here, we have our Cash App option set at the top. That way, when you are accepting payments via Cash App, you can now take them inside of your Square. And this is way much easier because the moment you hit this, it already brings up a cash code that's attached to Square. So now the person just scans this from their Cash App and it automatically pays. There's no need for them to put in your cash code or scan your Cash App outside of Square. So that way it can prevent fraudulent transactions. That's one of the secrets. I gave it to y'all earlier. We have our cash. If we are gonna take cash for this transaction, we just tap the number that we're taking, hit custom amount, and we can type in, say they gave us $3,000 bill. It'll do the math. All right, we can also send them a payment link. This way we can just message them the receipt or anything. Say you had bad internet in the area. You'll tap send payment link. It'll generate a payment link for you, and you can share the link via text or anything like that. That way they'll get that payment link and they can pay if they have data but you don't. So if you have the MK2 reader, as we were discussing earlier, this one right here, you see that you can insert the cards here with the EMV chip, or you can just tap it. It'll take the NFC transfers from wallets, as well as cards and watches or phones. But if the Wi-Fi goes out, that's happened to me a lot of times. I always have backups. So that's one of the reasons why I said that backups are important. The backup would be an external reader. Get one from your local cell phone distributors, any other manufacturers, AT&T, T-Mobile. This is just so when the Wi-Fi in the area gets a little clunky because so many people are using the Square system, you'll be able to process your payments. Otherwise, you're going to suffer and you're going to miss a lot of sales. This has happened to me in several markets to where everyone is using the Square payment system processor and they're using the Wi-Fi in the area, and especially when it's a low Wi-Fi area, and it just made our payment suffer. It made our customers suffer by waiting around in the sun for so long. Or even if it's cold out, like nobody wants to be waiting around, all right? So you have to be prepared. If you're gonna just project the Wi-Fi from your phone and you're doing it that way, it's cool to have your mobile hotspot, but go and buy a hotspot that's separate from your phone. What if you don't have Wi-Fi or the Wi-Fi goes out and there's too many people on the Wi-Fi? That's fine. You can process the payments, and Square allows you to actually process those payments offline. What it's going to do is save the session, and then it's going to process them once you get the signal back. Now, this is the thing though. When this happens, you run the risk of missing that sale, because sometimes someone may lock their card, or they have a way to where they can cancel the transaction and not allow it to go through. So if you choose to take payments offline, which you can, you have to do so with discernment, all right? So you can offer it or you don't have to. It's totally up to you. Get the sale, move the product. If it's something like you're doing a flash sale or something and it's like back-end product and just trying to get rid of it, process it. But if it's something like fresh baked items, freshly made, new arrivals and so like that, discretion. Number 2, what if the Bluetooth just so happens to break up? Because while all this data is getting interfered with, you got your Bluetooth to be worried about and everything like that. So what if the Bluetooth crashes or it just stops working? This is what you do. This is the button that you're pushing right here. This is the button that you're going to push. It's right on side the charger port. Hold it. This thing is going to light up. When it has green dots, it's no good to go. When it has orange dots, it's ready to sync with your device. So then you'll go into your Square, select your settings, go to your Square readers, and then hit connect. It'll find the device, and you're set to go. And sometimes you can just toggle your Bluetooth on and off, or you can toggle your Wi-Fi on and off, and it'll reconnect the reader, or it'll pick up the reader in a low reception area. Now, if the reception in the area is just trash, and the data is just whack for everybody, even yourself, and you're just getting low bars, low signals, don't try to connect the reader and don't fight it. It's not going to work. We've lost so many sales because of the reader not working. So if you're thinking like, oh no, I don't want the reader because the reception, every Bluetooth reader will go through this.
As long as you're talking a hotspot. So now this is our hack around that. Put any item in your cart and hit the charge button. Now on all Android and iOS phones, you can hit the tap to pay that's inside the Square app. You don't need any reader. You don't need any chipset or anything. And most likely your phone has data when your Bluetooth devices don't. However, this is why I said get an external Bluetooth device, because the cellular towers prioritize those over your mobile hotspot.
We are here at the end, y'all. Secret number 3. Now, if y'all were listening earlier, y'all would have heard me say that we do not use Square for our online website. I think it is the most clunkish, confusing we use for our website, Shopify. And you probably are like, oh, I tried Shopify. It's too much. I don't know what to do. I can help you with that too. It's the link down below. That's next to Shopify. Now, other than that, we use Shopify for our online and processing the sales. And then for our processing POS inside the field, we use Square. We use the Square because it's a direct checkout. It gives us quick access to our cash, faster than what Shopify does. It's pretty much same-day deposits if we need it. And it's more ACH transfers. Whereas the Shopify, it takes about a week to give us our money. And that's even using the POS. So what this has allowed us to do is, because we're bootstrapping, and we're not out here getting like these large loans and we don't have the cash, it allows us to have liquidity on us, or it allows us to have our money the times that we need it, so that we can re-up on inventory, so that we can go into new markets, so that we can buy new events, we can pay for ads, we can pay our collaborators and things like that. We have the cash. Whereas with Shopify, if we were using this POS, we would have had to wait for the 2-day payouts or the weekly payout, whatever it might be, for whatever option that we had set up. All right, so now getting past that part of the secret, the reason that we also use this combination is because it allows us to actually create loyalty customer segmentation. So after we activate those customers, we have to segment them so that we know what type of advertising and things that we're sending them. We don't want to be sending everybody the same thing. Now, with having the system set up like this, it is not straightforward. I'm not gonna lie, it's a big complication, especially dealing with the customers, because now I have to move customers from one platform and get them to the other, and the platforms do not talk at all, and no relations. And I'm not gonna get into using third-party things to try to make the platforms talk. We're just not gonna do that, okay? I wanted to drop this tip right here: collecting customers. So it's so unique that today, Moss by Messi, that's right, Messi, has a hydration drink. They're collecting signups on point, and that was literally my tip, is that you can collect signups, tap to collect, or scan QR code to collect. It goes to a particular landing page. They go to the landing page, you give them the sample that you have, or you give them that free item that you have just by them signing up. What that did for you is that you gained a customer. This also works that if you want someone to follow you on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, wherever, you have them go through the flow, Go to the landing page to have them do all of these things that prompts them. And once they complete that, you give them the item. You now just have a new customer. Now, if y'all need help setting up something like that, just go ahead and check out the description below and we'll take care of you. It's gonna be the link that's on side of customer activation, all right? Square allows us to have two-way communication with our customers, but we have to pay $39 a month for that. So inside of Shopify, we use an app called Postscript. We also have to pay for this as long as we're spending at least $25 a month with them. So it's kind of like paying for it, but it's not the $39 a month. That's actually just going to come out of billing on top of billing and on top of billing. So we don't want to do that. With Postscript, we are paying per text message up to $25 a month and anything else that goes past it. But we're allowed to use two-way communication. So if a customer is replying to us, we can actually text them whatever we want. There's literally compliances, all right? So, but if you mix all these steps together, y'all are set to go. Be sure that you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to tap into more of these market tips. And let me know below what was your favorite hack or just a favorite part that you didn't know. If you got any more questions, drop them in the comments. I'll be sure to follow up with you. Other than that, y'all be beautiful. Enjoy the war. Peace.